Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Rare Barrel. That's right, it's Rare Barrel. And boy, have we got a treat for you this video. We are going to unveil our top 10 bourbons and whiskeys for 2023. Now, the only rule we really had was it had to be released in 2023. And all of these are fairly allocated and hard to get. So we're gonna start our list off right now. Top 10, our favorites that we got, okay?
Yeah. Or
that we've tried. There's a lot of things that we don't have. Like, we tried a George T. Stagg, and that would definitely be
so good
at the top of our list, but we don't have it, so.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So if anyone's feeling
generous. Go ahead and
we'll take one off your hands.
Yeah, we'll help out. Just people helping people, that's what we are. Right. So we do have a couple honorable mentions that were very tasty, and they are the Remus Repeal 7. This was a very tasty bourbon. When we had it, it had all of the quintessential notes that you would want in a bourbon, and it was a good one.
It was.
I'll just say that.
Very good.
Also, for all you Yellowstone lovers, this Yellowstone limited edition 2023 release, also a very, very tasty pour.
What was the proof on that one?
This one's 101. So it's
solid.
It's a solid proof point, easy, nice sipper. Again, all the right notes. So I just had to throw those two in there. But number 1 on the list, or number 10 on the list,
10.
I should say, is Little Book Chapter 7. So this is obviously the 7th rendition of the Little Book, what do you want to call that? Series? Yeah. Released yearly. Unlike the Booker's, which is released 4 times a year, this is a yearly, one-time release from our friends at Jim Beam. Now, I don't think you've ever had this one.
We're gonna change that right now.
Fantastic.
So then this is like a mixture of your favorites and then a couple of mine sprinkled in too.
Yeah, there's some of her favorites in there. She hasn't
like
tried.
Number 4.
Get ready.
Really.
So this one comes in at 118.1 proof and is a blend of several different years of bourbon. So you've got a 4-year, a couple 4 years, a 5-year, a 9-year, a 10-year, a 17-year, and an 18-year.
Wow.
So this one's got some age on it, all the way down to 4. We don't know the percentage, obviously. It doesn't say that on there, but.
What was the proof? Sorry.
This one's 118.1.
Okay. It's good. It's really good.
What are you getting on that bad boy?
It's hot. It's got some heat to it, so the 118 makes sense. A little bit spicy, which I like a lot. Mm-hmm. I'm getting a bit of oak. I don't know. I like oak just a little bit, not too. I don't like too much heavy oak on the finish, but
which is something you can, depending on the barrel that you get, unlike an Elijah Craig 18. Sometimes you can get the sweet honey. Sometimes you get this overpowering dry oak, and you're more of the sweet oak. Mm-hmm. Nice and light.
It's really good. It has like a kick to it right when it hits your tongue. Like a good spicy hot kick. So it's really good. It's very complex and rich.
Oh yeah, a lot of honey.
Mm-hmm. But the oak is there for me on the finish. Kind of smoky oak. Again, not bad. It's just not my personal favorite, but this is
good.
This is a very complex flavor, which I really, really like.
Yeah. So it's got that. There it is on that second. Mm-hmm. First sip was all honey for me. Second sip, I got that oak. Now I'm really getting that smoky thing towards the end. Mm-hmm. Really, really nice. You get that, with Jim Beam again, you get that light peanut shell, and I'm just getting a light hint of that, not nearly as much as on other Jim Beam products. Mm-hmm. This one is a very, like you said, balanced and complex bourbon. There's a lot going on there. You got a caramel.
Yep.
Big honey on this one. That's interesting for me. I've not had that in any of the other Jim Beam stuff.
It's really
So
good.
that was
You should try it if you have not.
no doubt. So this is number 10 on our list. Moving on to number 9 from our friends over at Michter's. We got this year's Shanks. And this one, I've never had it before. I changed that this year. And this one was really good. I liked it a lot. Just a nice, solid whiskey. Now this one is not a bourbon. This one is your fantastic Sour Mash Whiskey, Kentucky, coming in at 91.2 proof.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so this one comes again from Michter's, and it is a yearly release. So when it comes out, everybody's going after it. And I was lucky enough to find this.
It's good. It's different. It's definitely different. You can
Right.
tell it doesn't have the same like spice and kick that some of the complex
A
bourbons
little
have.
lower proof, right?
It's lower proof. I like that high proof, but it's a nice smooth sipper. It's really smooth
Getting that
and
vanilla.
refreshing, kind of like.
Yeah.
There's almost, I'm getting like some citrus, maybe some orange.
This is a nice sipper on a, wow, yeah, there's vanilla, there's caramel. Wow.
Yeah, it's good. It's different.
I
I mean,
like that.
especially if you're not always in the mood for the spice and the kick and the complexity of some of the bourbons that we
Yeah.
like. This would be a really nice option of something that's like
This is
super
one of those
smooth.
easy sippers for
Yeah.
a fall evening or a summer evening where it's not like super, you know, warming you up, but it's got that light, nice vibe to it. Mouth feels nice. It's not as thick, obviously, as the Little Book was, but
Right.
it's got some nice. It's got the flavors that you want, right? It's not anything that you don't want. So there's not a lot of heavy oak
Right.
or dryness to it. It's a nice smooth feel all the way across the palate, and it's got that sweetness, which I dig. Wow. Second sip is exactly the same. So it's like between 1 and 2 there was no change for me. So that gives you the idea that it's not super complex. It's not going to change with every sip. It's just it's going to give you that same note every
Right.
time.
There is something on the nose of this that's a little bit different. I don't know what, I can't really pick up what it is. I don't know if it's that citrus something that I'm getting
Yeah.
or some type of fruit that's a little different
Maybe
than...
like an orange peel almost.
Yeah, maybe that's... Yeah, I said orange before, so...
Wow.
It's really good, worth trying for sure, and it made our top 10.
It did, and now it's buddy, it's cousin, it's whatever, from the same people, Michter's. This one is Bomberger's 2023 edition, coming in at 108 proof. This is a bourbon, okay? And again, it's a yearly release from Michter's. I love doing that. It's just my thing. Give that one a try and see what you think. Now, Shanks and Bomberger's were instrumental in the starting of what was the original Michter's distillery, so that's why they release these every year, kind of to honor those two gentlemen. What do you think?
Yeah, on the nose, it's interesting because I get a similar kind of unique smell on the nose to the one we just had.
Yeah.
So, the Shanks. Very similar, like, viscosity, too, as the other one.
Yeah.
But there's your bourbon kind of spice and kick and burn. So feeling it all in here. And it's not a very high proof, so
Wow.
that's good.
This one has more of a grape note to it.
Yeah, grape, yep.
Wow.
But then you have the spice and some of the heat to it, which I really like. But again, it's very smooth.
And it's got this graham crackery vibe to it on that second sip.
Yeah, easy sipper for sure.
Tip of the tongue's got that honey, then towards the middle of the palate you've got that graham cracker vibe, and then towards the back you've got maybe a light, very light. Again, this is not oak heavy at all. Maybe a tobacco towards the back. That is nice. I could sip this one all night long.
Yeah, it's good. I feel like it would be a really good starter for someone who's kind of taking it up a notch from some of the more lower proof kind of classic bourbons.
Yeah, this one's
whiskeys.
got more complexity than the
Yeah.
Shanks did.
Right.
Again, on the third sip there, then I was getting just a touch more of that sweet oak. Again, not overpowering. It is a very well-balanced bourbon, and I really dig it. I dug it the first time we tried it, second time, and again this time. It is a solid
It's good.
bourbon.
Yeah, very good.
So the next one, a little controversial. Some people
Uh-oh.
like it.
Oh boy.
Some people don't. It's all over the place. This is the Jack Daniel's twice barreled heritage. It's a heritage barrel rye. So,
We really like it.
really like it. This one's coming in at 100 proof from our good friends Jack Daniel's, obviously. And it is their 2023 special release. I really love the flavor on this one.
Ooh.
I get a lot of interesting notes, and I want to see what you get.
I feel like I'm getting a lot of grape on this one too,
Ooh.
on the nose. Some oak, not crazy strong, not the smoky oak.
Which is interesting because it's twice barreled, so you have that double
Yeah.
oaked.
I mean, maybe some now that I'm going in a few more times.
I didn't either on the first time that I got it, and it wasn't like the oak that I did get wasn't an unpleasant oak.
I like to let it sit in my
Yeah,
mouth a
do
little
it
bit.
for sure.
Yeah. Very smooth. I mean, it's so smooth.
Oh yeah. See,
Yeah, there is some oak on the palate for sure. Again, it's not super strong, but this is it goes down so smooth.
yeah.
And it's a little thicker. It kind of lingers in the mouth a little bit longer.
Yep. It's got this nice bread note to it.
Yeah.
I do get that grape now that
Do you smell the grape?
I don't smell it. Oh, maybe I do now. There's a fruit to it, but it's like a fruit
Yeah, maybe.
bread.
Yeah.
It's so
Like a
interesting.
fruit cake?
Yeah, kind of like that. But like when I get it on the palate, then I get a stronger grape note. There's still maybe a strawberry in there or something, but it's
Yeah.
got a fruit forward note to it.
P.S. Fruitcake is really expensive. Did you know that?
I heard somewhere.
It's really expensive. Like surprisingly expensive for how interesting it is.
Yeah, it's not even really that good.
It's not good really at all.
Yeah, so this one is the first rye on the list.
Yeah. We're learning more about ryes, and I think we
Right.
lean towards some ryes that we like. We're definitely more bourbon, non-rye.
Right, yeah, so the rye has
Needed.
more spice to it that
Sometimes.
you
This-
like.
this one doesn't
This one
seem to
doesn't.
have the
exactly.
spice, though.
Which is probably why I like it so much, is it's not as rye spice forward. It's got those bread vibes, it's got those fruit vibes, so yeah,
But it's very smooth. It doesn't have the crazy spice burn.
so good.
So this is another one that I think you could sip
Yep, yeah, for sure.
pretty easily.
All right, next on the old list. This was an interesting one. The old Willet. We're all over the board here. As far as we're including everything. We've got bourbons.
We're all inclusive here.
Right, bourbons,
Rare Barrel?
whiskeys, ryes, weeded bourbons. This one here is from our friends at Willet. It is the 8-year weeded purple top. Now, word on the street is, and you know how word on the street goes. Word on the street is that this particular set of bottles was from a short barrel, meaning it wasn't completely filled as much as it could be. So the
Okay.
juice inside got more ability to pull different things out of the wood, make it a stronger.
So like it could
Flavor.
move around more.
Yeah,
take up more
yeah,
space.
but it's like less diluted by all of the. So it's got more of the flavor from the wood, right?
Yeah.
Now we've had this one several times because it is very, very tasty.
Yeah.
And when I drink this one, I get, well, you'll find out. What do you got?
The nose is really nice. It's light, it's not harsh, you don't get any of the burn there.
I forgot to say, this one comes in at 108 proof as well.
Wow. I mean, I know I've had this. I've had most of these. I just don't remember all of them.
Yes, you've definitely had this one. Ooh, yeah.
Wow.
That's a smooth one.
That's good. It kind of kicks you in the mouth a little bit once you get it in there. Spicy, definitely. You can tell the oak is strong, but it's good.
It's a sweet.
It's like a sharp, sweet oak.
This one is giving me a different flavor than it has. Now this has been obviously opened up for a minute. We're probably down here on it somewhere. So it has opened up different. There's such a strong fruit note on this one.
Darker fruit though.
Yeah, so when we first opened it, I got heavy, bright grape. And now it seems to have darkened a little bit more to where it's almost a darker raisin kind of
a raisin, or plum even a little bit. The burn is, I mean, I'm feeling it move all the way down.
And it's not even, it's an interesting like zing across the tongue.
It's really good.
That is an incredible wheated bourbon. Again, this is a very hard to find release. I don't know if it's even yearly, but this one came out this year. This specific 8-year did. And wow, am I glad I was able to find it. It was kind of interesting. We had been kind of just out hopping around the Minneapolis area, and it had just come up on this store that we'd never been to before, and we had looked at a pretty small selection of bourbon on the shelf. And we had grabbed, I think it was just like a bourbon cream because it was so inexpensive at this particular store, and we got up to the counter and boom, there it was. Three of them sitting on the counter. I was like, I should probably grab one of those.
Wow, yeah, that's good. Again, very smooth.
Very smooth.
Surprisingly smooth.
Yep.
And a very nice looking bottle too.
It's a fun bottle. All black, so you don't really know where your level's at. Next up comes the hottest one of the year for me, coming in at 133 proof.
Woohoo, now we're talking.
This is right up your alley.
I love this.
This is our Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C. 9.
Gotta do a little palate cleanse here.
23. This one comes in at 13 years and 7 months, so it's a nice old bourbon. 133 proof. Oh, it's just filled with all the things you need. This one has been an incredible, incredible sip. Now this is number 5 on our list as we continue. And gosh diggity, is it fun.
Oh, it's just got this sweet, caramely, like a little bit of sugar, sweetness. It's so good. And then you've got the spice at the end, which I love the spice. A little bit of heat.
The thing that's interesting about this, for 133 proof, it does not drink 133 proof.
Wow.
Like, it is insane how.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't.
The flavor is so big. It's so all over. And it
lasts.
Yeah, the mouthfeel of it.
Still getting kind of some different, even maybe a little bit of the peanut shell that you talk about sometimes, like a little saltiness kind of on the finish, which is nice.
Yep. Yeah, I'm getting that too.
I love a little sweet and salt, like caramel with sea salt on it.
Wow, that's everything right there. Yeah, Elijah Craig at the beginning of the year decided to go away from the just straight line 12-year age statement. And so A123 was the last, just, hey, we're doing 12 years no matter what. And when they got into B, 523, it dropped to 11, so everybody's kind of freaking out. Like, oh no, now we're not gonna get these nice long age statements. But They came back with a 13-year, 7-month, and
Wow.
133 proof, and it did not disappoint. This was one that everybody was searching hard for.
Yeah, it's
and
good. It's got a really long-lasting finish. I love that. I mean, you don't have to, and again, bourbon, especially for us, and you know, finding kind of these more rare bottles and more like unique, complex bottles, it's for sipping. It's for tasting. It's not for drinking a whole bunch of drinks.
Right.
So you can have one sip of this and really let it linger for a while.
Oh yeah.
Before you even feel like you need to go back in for another sip.
Yep.
Wow.
This one came from our friends at 7 A's. Always looking out for
These
us.
guys just,
Some of the best.
They know.
Also, speaking of our boys at 7 A's,
Oh, this one's good.
the old Fitz.
The old Fitz.
10-year. This one is from the spring of this year, and gosh dang is it.
This one's very unique. Like, I remember trying this and thinking, okay, this one is different. It's, if I remember, it's much thicker.
Yeah, it is. Wow, it's an incredible pour.
Ooh.
This one's coming in at obviously 100 proof, being bottled in bond. Old Fitzgerald Spring 2023. 10 years of incredible flavor.
And the bottle, come on.
I mean, come on.
They just
How can you not love this
nailed
bottle?
it. So classic, very historic looking, resembling kind of the old high-end bottles.
So when we had our friends from 7 A's, we cracked this one with our friends from 7 A's. They were kind enough to let us buy this bottle, so we said, come on down to the studio and let's crack it together. But Tom was in here and he was talking about why they created bottles that like this, that are kind of taller in stature. One, you had to put them on the top shelf and they drew your attention to the bottle. And so that's why
Yeah, so cool.
they went with this one.
This one is, again, it's definitely got a thicker mouthfeel. It really lingers, but it is sweet. But it's a beautiful sweet. It's not.
It's a perfect
It's not
sweet.
over sweet. Wow, yeah, caramel,
Yep, vanilla.
not super spicy.
No, it's a more subtle.
Yeah,
It doesn't stab your tongue with a bunch of spikes. This
not
one
a
is.
lightning.
No, this one is
Lightning
smooth all the way across, but that viscosity, like you said, the mouthfeel is really nice. It coats it well. It is an awesome bourbon. Now, I've tried the 17-year, and that one was just a butterscotch bomb
Really?
all day long. This one here is a little bit lighter on the flavor than that one. Obviously, it's a 17-year, so you're gonna get a more flavorful sip. This one, still really good. Caramel,
It's beautiful.
that vanilla, that sweet oak is just really good. Coming in at number 4. You can't beat it. Oh.
And just a really fun one to share with friends and family. Like, it's kind of a special bottle, and
For sure.
love it. I'm going in for one more.
Do it, because we've got number 3. This is the Woodford Reserve Sonoma Triple Finish.
This is kind of like been your all-time favorite, like one of your favorites
As you can see,
this year.
I've drank quite a bit of this, and I had to go buy a backup bottle because I really like this one.
And shares it with everybody that he meets. That
Everybody.
wants to try it.
Yeah, I want everybody to try this because, especially people that haven't gotten into bourbon,
Yeah.
but maybe they like wine and different
Yeah.
things like that. This is like the way they did the finish on this one. I don't think you could do it any better than these guys did it. Coming in at the signature 90.4 proof from our friends at Woodford Reserve, the Sonoma Triple Finish. Now this one here is it's interesting how they finished it. Some of the bourbon was finished in a wine cask that only had wine in it, right? And then also in a cask that had bourbon in it, but then had wine in it, and then came back and put more bourbon in
I
it.
think I knew that.
Yeah, so it's an interesting combination of how they got all of the different, that's how they got the triple finish name.
Makes sense. I mean, right away on the nose, you get the grape. You get that wine, kind of red wine scent on the nose for sure.
And it's just so smooth. It's so just. Oh.
It gives me like a, I don't know, kind of like a cab, like a very light cab smell.
Oh, sure.
Here we go.
Yep. Some very
Wow.
fine bourbon there.
That's good. And see, now what's interesting about this one is this one does drink way hotter to me than 90 proof.
It is a little bit warmer than a 90 proof norm. Like, yeah, take
More
the Shanks, right?
yeah.
The Shanks was right in there around that 90
Yeah.
area, and that drank softer than this does. This one has an interesting.
Which I like. I mean, I would
Right.
I prefer that personally.
But that finish.
Wow. Yeah. Still super smooth.
Very.
But you get sort of this tingle in your mouth of like a mixture of the deep grape wine sort of aftertaste almost.
Yeah, it is. And then there's just this. I almost give it again that graham crackery note towards the middle of the palate. It's got that graham cracker, almost like the honey, but then it just dissolves into this wine finish to it.
Yeah.
It's just so like it's a complex sip
It is.
in everything that you're getting.
Yeah.
And it doesn't shift much from sip to sip, but in every sip there's something you pull out, like something different that you get out of it, and I just love that complexity.
Yeah, it's really good.
This one almost was my number one. Okay, almost.
Yeah, if you haven't tried this one and we've seen it, I mean, we see it every once in a while. Not as much
Yeah.
lately, but
Well, now that
where were we then?
now that the shift has kind of gone through,
Yeah. Oh, we were in North Dakota.
yeah,
We saw one and we didn't grab it
we should have.
because we were trying to be good.
It's tough,
It's tough in the street.
but we did it. We did it this one time.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good one.
Ooh, another great one. Maker's Mark. They've gone away from their wood finishing series and replaced it with cellar aged. Now, this one here is comprised of two different age statements. We've got 13% at 11 years and 87% at 12. I can't do math, so I had to look. So Maker's Mark is very, very big on aging to flavor, okay, or taste. So once it tastes like their profile, they're like, get it out. Doesn't matter if it's at 4 years, doesn't matter if it's at 8 years.
Wow.
Get it out. So a lot of their bourbons are aged only 4 to like 8 years. And so people have been like saying, hey, give us an age-stated bourbon, like a bourbon that's over,
Yeah.
10 years of age. And they finally did it. I believe most of you probably know the story, but once the flavor of the barrel gets to their flavor profile, they take it out of the rickhouse and put it in their new cellar. It's a rickhouse that has been
It's like
put into the
stone,
side of
right?
a limestone
Yeah.
hill, and it's left there to age in a cooler environment where the aging process is slowed down tremendously so that it can get older but not really pick up the oak and the oak tannins and the bitterness of what the oak is. Go ahead. I'll keep talking. You got to start smelling and getting your nose.
Whew. Wow. That's strong.
It's a good one. Again,
That's nice.
it's got 11 years and 12 years in it. This one comes in at 115.7 proof.
Wow, the nose is beautiful. It is like the caramel,
It's another polarizing bourbon out there. Some
but
people
also
love it.
some grape and maybe some cherry, a little bit of vanilla. Like there's a lot on the nose.
This should be a good one.
Oh yeah.
So many things.
That's good. Have I had this?
You've not.
Wow. We just changed that. I'm sorry, I had to. That's really good. Wow. It's very, you know, I get like some brown sugar in that, which I don't get all that often, but I'm not overly good at this either yet.
Neither am I.
I just say what I feel like I'm tasting. But that is brighter for me. The brown sugar is brighter in this than I think I've tasted before, which is, it's really, really good.
But yeah, it's got that cherry. A brighter cherry, not a dark, super dark cherry. It's a brighter cherry. But yeah, that caramel.
Like a maraschino?
Yeah, maraschino. Maraschino cherry. Again, a polarizing
good.
bourbon right here.
Why?
Some people are into it, and some people are not. I don't know why you would not be into it.
Because of how it's aged, or the taste, or both?
Great question.
Huh.
But a lot of the whiskey tube influencers have really dug it.
Okay.
And I'm one of them.
I mean, it's really good. I think you should at least try it. I mean, not everybody, we all know this, like everybody's palates are different. Oh. Our palates are very different. Mm-hmm. So not everyone's gonna like everything, and that's okay.
This one's gonna be a fun one. Hopefully they just keep doing this. Maybe it's a bi-yearly or a biannual thing or an annual thing, who knows yet. They just released it, obviously, first time this year. And everybody just flipped for it.
It's really good.
A hard one to find.
It's smooth for being 100, what was it, 115?
115!
It's really smooth. It has a nice, slow kind of tingle burn.
Yep.
Some spice on the finish. Really sweet, smooth. That's good. The viscosity on this one is very nice. It's like very even. I feel like it's just thick enough. It's not too thin.
Yeah, it's right there in the middle on mouthfeel. It's smooth across the palate. Everything's there that you want. Yeah, this is, a lot of people have said this is the best makers that they've had.
Well, I think sometimes it can be, like some of the makers, some of the store picks and stuff, it can be a little much sometimes for like just the different staves and everything, the flavors.
There's just a lot of interesting flavor going on there, and you're like, what were you going for?
Which it's good, and it's kind of fun, especially like store picks and barrel picks, you know. But
now I've liked some of the other wood finishing series. Like this one was like across the board, like bourbon flavor. This one did a really, really good job of making it balanced, but also remaining complex. 115 proof is a nice proof. It's something that you know, is going to really bring out some good flavor. So I did like that, but there are some of the old wood finishing series that I loved, like the one we had in North Carolina at the Crunkles that had so that butterscotch, all that stuff. Yeah. It was just like, I love butterscotch in my bourbon.
It's amazing. It's like so amazing how they can all be so different and what they can do. For a minute, before, I thought you were gonna say the number one, and so I went, but then you weren't. Oh. So just so you know.
Sorry, here's the number one.
I was gonna do a little drum roll like this.
Oh yeah, go for it. Drum roll. Number one for this year is Russell's Reserve 13. Wah, 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 wah. This is the batch 5, and it is phenomenal.
It's so good.
Oh, yep. It's definitely number one. It's so good.
It's our number one.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got their own number one.
Let us know what your number one is.
Now, if we had a George C. Stagg, that would be our number one.
We had a sip of it one time.
At a local restaurant, and it was
and we have been searching for one ever since.
This was the 2023 release that we had, and it was so good. Now, Russell's Reserve 13 this year, coming in at, maybe every year, I don't know, this is the first time we've gotten it. Coming in at 114.8 proof, non-chill filtered, so you're getting all of the barrel flavor and everything that they wanted you to have out of it. Good old Jimmy and Eddie Russell giving us their best. I heard somewhere, and this might just be an internet thing that isn't actually a thing, somewhere that they are coming out with a Russell's 15.
Ooh.
That would be phenomenal. Now, it could just be somebody messing around with Photoshop saying, hey, they're coming out with a 15 and trying to get everybody hyped for it, but it would be cool. I'd be down for it.
It'd be cool to try it.
Yep.
Sometimes when they get older, it's not as good, and sometimes when they get older, it is really good.
Depends on the profile you're looking for and how they're able to blend it and different things like that. again, with things like this, the 13-year, that only means that's the youngest bourbon in there. There could be older bourbons in this. We don't know. Right. They don't let us know.
Right.
They're just saying, hey, here it is. So there could be stuff that's 16, 17 years old in here. We wouldn't know. This just gives us the youngest year.
It's good.
What are you feeling?
It's good. It's smooth. It's hard because I've had 9 other sips before this one, but I love the sweetness to it. I love, like, this one has a nice, like, the sweetness is very subtle.
Yeah.
And so, which I like, and it kind of lingers nicely. There's a little bit of spice.
Got that caramel.
Yeah. It's definitely your style. For sure.
It's definitely me, for sure.
Yeah.
It's got, again, Russell's 13, one of these staples of bourbon now. It's something, obviously, they're only on batch 5. They've been doing it for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But it is something that everybody looks for. They look forward to it coming out every year. And this batch 5, there's been a couple batches that have kind of fallen short.
Okay.
Batch 1, they say, has been the #1
really?
to get. This batch has been really, really good.
Yeah.
I can't say anything bad about it. It's got everything you want in a bourbon. It's got the oak, but a sweet oak. It's not an overpowering bitter oak. It's a mouthfeel that is sweet, so it's not that drying mouthfeel. It's got something that's gonna make the saliva flow because it's got that sweetness to it. And I like that in a bourbon. I'm not really for the ones that are drying you out, and we'll have a video coming out of the bourbons that we least like. Again, not that we hate,
Right.
because I don't know that I've purchased a bourbon yet, other than maybe that I haven't that I've hated.
Right.
So there's ones that I like less than others.
Yeah.
And so we'll have a list of those coming out. But Russell's 13 this year takes it for us. Thank you all so much for watching this video. We appreciate your support. Don't forget to maybe hit that like button. And
Not maybe.
Just do it. Just
right
do
now.
it.
I would say just.
You know what? Just do it. It's not going to cost you anything to do it. It's just a quick click of that like button. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button so you can keep up to date with all the awesome stuff that we have going on here at Rare Barrel. Thank you again for tuning in. It has been an incredible year.
Yes, it has.
Our first year in bourbon, like heavy into bourbon,
year.
and it has been exciting for us, and we are excited to again build this channel and build some exciting stuff with our friends and our community in here. So thank you again so much.